All right, Bulldogs. Hey, guys. Happy snow day. So we had to switch our plans a little bit because of Wednesday and Tuesday and just not wanting to give you too much asynchronous work. So we're going to do this today. Remember, we've been working on the preterite and the imperfect. You did try that on the practice test for Tuesday. So this is your Wednesday lesson, but you can do it at any time if you're working on it on Tuesday. So I'm going to take you through this story, Un Cuento, La Fiesta de Boo. So we're going to talk about Boo, this little cute puppy here, and his party. And we're going to write a story in the preterite or the imperfect, okay, in the past. Very similar to what you're going to do for me this week on Friday. We will practice this again together on Thursday in class, but it is so important that you watch this and you go through it and you understand step by step. I know sometimes you might fluff your Wednesday work, but this is an important one that you definitely need to tune into and make sure you understand the process as we go. Okay, so it's an ed puzzle, so it'll pause. It might not be super slick, but here we go. So we're going to start our story with this sentence. El perro se llamaba Boo. So I want you to look at that verb, se llamaba. Think about what the question means or the sentence means, and now choose. Why is the verb in this tense? Se llamaba. Is it because it's a reason from Dr. LeWaitt? Description, reoccurring action, location, emotion, weather, age, appearance, attitudes, incomplete action, or time? Have your cheat sheet out? Or is it a simple past action? Good. If you chose Dr. LeWaitt, it's because of D, description. So this verb is in the imperfect, and it is in the imperfect because it is describing Boo. We're telling his name. His name was Boo. So now I'd like you to try a sentence similar to this. Boo blank ocho años. So complete the sentence by conjugating the verb in the correct tense, the preterite, or the imperfect. Good. If you wrote tenía, you should have written tenía in the imperfect because we're describing Boo's age. When we describe age in the past, the A of Dr. LeWaitt, then we use the imperfect. Era el 16 de febrero. Why is the imperfect used in this tense? Is it Dr. LeWaitt or a simple past action? You should have chosen Dr. LeWaitt because we're expressing the time and, or in this case, the date, okay? Time and date is the T. When we give the time or the date in Spanish, we're going to use the imperfect. And era is a form of ser, right? Era, eras, eran. Now your turn. Blank las siete por la mañana. Think about what is the sentence trying to convey, then choose preterite or imperfect and conjugate. Muy bien. You should have chosen eran. Eran las siete por la mañana. So it's Dr. LeWaitt because we're expressing the time in this situation. Okay, let's continue with our story. Boo estaba en Nueva York. Why is the verb in this tense? Is it a reason of Dr. LeWaitt or a simple past action? Good. This is in the imperfect because it's a reason of Dr. LeWaitt. Hopefully you're catching on here that if it's Dr. LeWaitt, we use imperfect. We should know that. Simple past action is the preterite. So the party was in New York. Whenever we describe a location in the past, we're going to use the imperfect. Or Boo, I'm sorry, Boo was in New York. All right, try it on your own. La fiesta blank en la casa de su amigo, using the verb estar. Choose preterite or imperfect and then conjugate. Muy bien. Again, we're using the imperfect here because it's Dr. LeWaitt, L for location, estaba. Okay, why is the imperfect used here? Hacía sol y hacía calor. Is it Dr. LeWaitt or a simple past action? Muy bien. If you chose Dr. LeWaitt, it's because of the W, weather. When describing the weather in the past, we're going to use the imperfect. No blank durante el día. You're going to use the verb llover. Llover means to rain. So go ahead and complete the sentence by conjugating the verb in the correct tense, the preterite or the imperfect. Muy bien. You should have written llovía, right? Because we're using Dr. Lewaite here to describe the weather. Here we have a sentence describing Boo. Boo era bajo y rubio. Why is the imperfect used in this tense? Or why is the tense in the sentence used? It's the imperfect. So is it Dr. Lewaite or a simple past action? Good. It is the imperfect because it's Dr. Lewaite. We're describing his appearance. He was short and blonde. How about you try this sentence? Su amiga blank pelo rubio también, using the verb tener. Choose, is it preterite or imperfect based upon the meaning of the sentence, and then conjugate. Muy bien. Another Dr. Lewaite, describing his friend's appearance. We're going to use tener in the imperfect, tenía. Okay. Boo y su amiga fueron en carro a la fiesta. Why is the verb in this tense? Is it Dr. Lewaite or a simple past action? Muy bien. Hopefully you caught that we now switched from imperfect, kind of describing what was going on, to now a simple past action, which we know is when we use the preterite. So fueron is the preterite form of ir, and it's because they went to the party in a car, okay, or in the car to a party. But regardless, this has a start and end time. We can probably, if the Ring camera was out, we would see exactly what time Boo and his friend left in the car. As irresponsible as it is for a dog to drive, we could figure it out by looking at the time. Now try this one. Boo y su amiga blank a tiempo. Choose. What is the action? So is it preterite or imperfect? What is the sentence trying to say? Muy bien. If you notice that this was in the preterite, it's because they arrived on time, okay? A tiempo, on time. So again, the Ring camera at the party house would show you exactly what time they arrived. It started and ended at a specific time. It is a simple past action. Therefore, we use the preterite. En la fiesta, los amigos blank. So go ahead and think about what the sentence means and then choose, should I use the preterite or imperfect? Think, is it Dr. Lewaite or a simple past action? Muy bien. If you chose simple past action, you are correct. It should have been comieron because they ate, right? Someone at the party was watching, filming it. You're always on camera. They could show exactly when they started and when they finished eating. También ellos blank a un amigo nuevo. Conocer means to know, but in the past it can also mean to meet. So think what is the sentence trying to say? Is it Dr. Lewaite or a simple past action? So choose preterite or imperfect and then go ahead and conjugate. Muy bien. It is a simple past action. They met a new friend here at the party. Boo, so on this sentence, it's got two verbs. So we're going to look at it in two separate sections, okay? So let's look at the first part. Boo comía cuando su amigo salió. So just looking at the verb comía, is this verb Dr. Lewaite or a simple past action? It is Dr. Lewaite. It's talking about the action in progress or the incomplete action in the past. Boo was eating when su amigo salió. So this verb here, is it a Dr. Lewaite or a simple past action? Muy bien. It is a simple past action. In this case, it's an interrupting action. Boo was eating when his friend left the party, so it interrupted his eating. We also know that after cuando, we typically use the preterite, right? And so in these kind of sentences where you see two together, the first verb is telling me what was going on, happening in the past, and then the second verb interrupts it as is in the preterite. Boo estaba muy triste. Why is a verb in this sentence in this tense? Is it Dr. Lewaite or a simple past action? Correct. It should have been Dr. LeWade. It's in the imperfect because it's describing Boo's emotional state. When we talk about emotional states in the past, we use the imperfect. He was sad his friend left the party. No le blank que su amigo salió. So complete this sentence now. Think, what is it trying to say? And then do I use the predicate or the imperfect? Muy bien. It should be in the imperfect because it's the A of Dr. LeWade. Attitudes and desires. No le gustaba. He didn't like that his friend left. And then we also talked about that this chapter is that anytime we think those mental process thinking words in Spanish in the past, like to think, to believe, to want, to like, to love, we always use the imperfect because they typically involve a duration of time. And let's finish up our sentence here. Why are these verbs in this tense? Boo regresó a casa y se bañó. Is it Dr. LeWade or are these simple past actions? Muy bien. They are simple past actions. He returned home and he took a bath, right? Two simple actions that start and end at a specific time in the past. They weren't ongoing and they kind of just finish off our sentence. So, had a good party. His friend left. He got sad, so he went home and he took a nice long bubble bath. All right, so hopefully this helps. If you want to try this again, you are welcome to go back to the beginning and go through the explanation one more time. Thursday in class, do not miss. We are going to go through one and we're going to write original sentences. On Friday in class, you are going to see something very similar where you're going to write by sentence. I'll give you like a prompt and I'll say, describe the weather. And so you're going to need to know, according to the picture, I'll give you some words. You're going to write a sentence describing the weather. But since we know weather is part of Dr. LeWade, you'll use the imperfect. We will talk about this more in class on Thursday. But if you did not do well on this, maybe go back to the beginning and re-watch it so that you are prepped for your exam. If you have not finished your perfect quiz yet, please do that. Remember, there's no chapter test, so you're going to also want to take your grammar quiz as many times as you can. The easiest way to access the grammar quiz is to go into your gradebook on Schoology. All right. Adios, amigos. I'm bummed that I didn't get to see you on Tuesday and on Wednesday, but I will definitely see you virtually or in person on Thursday. Stay warm.